Hello everyone, this is Jay from TechNext and welcome to my video tutorials. In this video series, we're going to look at Windows Server 2016. This video series is a beginner guide and we're going to look at the basics of Windows Server 2016 and how to install Windows Server 2016 in virtual environment. And after that, we will look at Active Directory and some other things. So let's have a look. I've got my blog where you can actually read the content as well. If you go to technext.net and then blog, and after that you have further different options. At the moment I'm working on Windows Server 2016 beginners guide, and I will have these further courses that I will be updating soon. So in Windows Server 2016 beginners guide, click on Windows Server 2016, and then after that on the next page you have further options. So let's have a look at the course guide. So audience for this video series, I would say people who really would like to start their ICT career as a system administrator, and people who do not really know much about Windows Server 2016, or ICT people who are working in ICT and they would like to enhance their existing skills. And you also require a computer which has a laptop or a PC which has Hyper-V, VMware or VirtualBox installed. You need at least 2 GB RAM for Windows Server 2016, or you need 1 or 2 GB RAM for Windows 10 or Windows 8, because we're going to make it Windows 10 or Windows 8 our client. So then we're going to connect that client to Windows Server 2016. Let's have a look at the different topics that we will discuss during this course. We want to look at Windows Server 2016 basics, and then installation, desktop experience, and these are further information. You can check it on my blog where you will have all these things that we're going to cover during this course or during this video series. Alright, so let's get started and let's look at the introduction of Windows Server 2016. What is Windows Server 2016? Yes, of course, its name tells us that it is a server and it is developed and supported by Microsoft. I would say it is one of the secure server available in the market. If you look at the installation options, we have few installation options. We have Server Core, which will install Windows Server full functionality, but it is there's no GUI. There is some GUI, but it's really limited, and there's no MMC tools. MMC tools are when you go to your command prompt and you say MMC, and this is a console, Microsoft Management Console, where you file, you add and remove snap-ins. So this is not available actually in Server Core. So you manage through PowerShell only. And in desktop experience, it's a full desktop experience, but still you can manage it through PowerShell. Essentials server has only graphical user interface. We'll look onto this soon. So the next thing is like types of Windows Server 2016. There's a data center, standard, and essentials. Data center is big companies, 100 plus users, and lots of virtual environment if you have. Standard is a low density environments. I would say 25 plus users, not 50. I will edit that document. 25 plus, 25 to 100 users, and few virtual machines. Why few virtual machines? We'll have a look onto this soon. Essentials, small business up to 25 users only. You cannot exceed users above 25, and it comes with only graphical user interface, so you do not have a server core at all. Now, what is data center and standard? As we have had a look here, standard and data center for big companies. Standard is low density. There's not much difference, but there is difference. But if you talk about core functionality, Windows data center and standard, it has full functionality. Hyper-V containers, yes. In data center you have unlimited Hyper-V, but in standard you are limited up to 2 virtual machines only, 2 Windows virtual machines. And the Windows Server containers are unlimited in both. Host Guardian service is available as well, and Nano Server, which is a new functionality in Windows Server 2016. It is available in both cases. Yes, there are a few other things: networking stack, shielded virtual machines, which is more secure virtual machines, and we have further storage featuring including storage spaces and storage replica available in data center only. Okay, now we talk about licensing. It's a slightly different as compared to Windows 10 or Windows 8. You actually purchase license according to the cores and processor of the server. Per processor, you require minimum 8 cores, and per server, you require license of minimum 16 cores. So one server can have one or more processors. So each processor should have 8 cores minimum, but if you have only one processor per server, still you have to buy 16 cores. I know it's a little bit complicated, but you will understand that. For example, server 1, we have one processor only, but as we have talked about, we need minimum 8 cores per processor. But if you talk about the whole server, you require still 16 cores. And whereas server 2 has 2 processors and 8 cores each, but you will get away with 16 cores because minimum per processor you require 8 cores, and altogether per server is minimum 16 cores. Alright, now further we talk about roles, role services and features in Windows Server. Roles is something when we install a program and it provides a specific task and full functionality to something. For example, DHCP. DHCP is a role because it provides us the role of DHCP. And role services is when we install one role, it provides us different services. We can take an example of, say, remote access. Remote access role, it provides us different VPN services. For example, L2TP, PPTP, it can be IPsec. So it has different roles and services. Whereas when we talk about features, so there is something called features in Windows Server 2016 or Windows Server 2012 as well. Features is something, a functionality which requires a role to work properly. So if we install Windows in Windows Server, if we install a role called IIS, which is for as a web server, this is a role as a web server, it requires some features like .NET Framework. So in this scenario, .NET Framework is a feature that requires for a role named IIS. We're going to talk about these roles features more in our further videos. I have also this link where you can go and learn more about roles and features, because this link goes to TechNet where you can have a quick read about more roles, services and features. So that is it for this video. In next video we're gonna look at the Server 2016 installation and what are the requirements for system requirements for Server 2016. If this video was helpful, please like it and also leave a comment if you have any question. Also, you can leave a comment on the blog as well. If you have any question or anything you want to ask, you can leave a comment here. See you guys in next video.